Next, you need to make the transparent tail part of the axolotl. Apart from the back to the tail, resembling a fish fin is called the transpale part. We will use the dark blue yarn. The transparent tail part extends from the middle of the back to the tail. Take out the completed main body. First, confirm the stitch insertion points. Use dark blue yarn. Insert the stitch between rounds 24 and 25. First, confirm the round count. Insert the stitch at the position between rounds 24 and 25. Take out the sewing needle and make a mark between the two rounds. Face the front towards us. Pinch flat from the middle of the eyes along the center line of the main body. Find the middle position from the top of the head to the back. Take out a stitch marker. Hang a stitch marker at the center position between rounds 24 and 25. We can repeatedly compare. This position is relatively centered. Then the bottom ends between rounds 31 and 32. First, place a sewing needle as a marker between rounds 31 and 32. You need to find a relatively symmetrical centered position. Attach a stitch marker at the corresponding position. We can repeatedly confirm whether the 2 points where the stitch markers are attached are relatively centered. After confirming the position, take out the dark blue yarn from the material kit. Wrap the yarn around your hand. Pinch the yarn end with the thumb and middle finger. We will insert the hook between rounds 24 and 25 on the back. Remove the stitch marker. Take out the crochet hook and insert it between the posts of the 2 rounds. Place the crochet hook in front of the blue yarn. Lift the working yarn upwards. Yarn over with the crochet hook and pull through. A chain stitch. The insertion point for each stitch is between the rounds. First, insert hook into the loop and tighten the loop. The yarn end also needs to be tightened. Next, crochet 5 single crochet. First one. Insert the stitch between the rounds. The second one. The yarn end can be placed above the crochet hook for weaving in. Third. The fourth single crochet. The fifth single crochet. Five single crochet are completed. When crocheting with milk cotton yarn, you may find the yarn tends to slip off your hand easily. You can wrap the yarn around your pinky like this. Then pass it through the palm between the middle and index fingers. Demonstrate once more. Pass the yarn through between the pinky and ring fingers. Then wrap the yarn around the pinky finger and pass it through the palm between the middle finger and index finger like this. 5 single crochet are completed. Then crochet 5 half double crochet. Now let's take a look at the method for crocheting a half double crochet. Now place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Use the crochet hook to pick up the working yarn. Wrap it around once. Insert the crochet hook into the stitch insertion point between the rounds. Move the crochet hook to the back of the working yarn. Press down on the working yarn. Hook head catches the working yarn. Pull the yarn through with the crochet hook. Now there are 3 loops on the crochet hook. Place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Lift the working yarn upwards. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook once. Hook head catches the working yarn. Pull the crochet hook through all 3 loops at once. This forms a half double crochet. The first half double crochet is completed. The second half double crochet. Pick up the working yarn with the crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook once. Insert the hook between the stitches, yarn over and pull through. There are now 3 loops on the crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook once. Yarn over and pull through. The second half double crochet is completed. Here we can repeatedly check the stitch insertion point. The third half double crochet. A fourth half double crochet. The fifth half double crochet. Five half double crochet are completed. Next, you need to crochet 18 double crochet. Now let's learn how to make a double crochet. Place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Lift the working yarn with the crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook once. Insert the crochet hook into the stitch insertion point between the rounds. Move the crochet hook to the back of the working yarn. Pull down the working yarn. Yarn over and pull through. There are now 3 loops on the crochet hook. At this step, the crochet method is the same as the half double crochet method. Next is where the double crochet and half double crochet methods differ. Place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Yarn over the crochet hook and pull through the working yarn. Pull the crochet hook through the first 2 loops on the hook. A new loop is formed. There are now 2 loops on the crochet hook. Yarn over the crochet hook again. Pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. This completes a double crochet. Everyone, pay attention to distinguish between the crochet methods of double crochet and half double crochet. For the second double crochet, yarn over the crochet hook once. Insert the crochet hook through the stitch insertion point. Yarn over the crochet hook and pull up a loop. There are 3 loops on the crochet hook. Yarn over the crochet hook and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over the crochet hook again and pull through the remaining 2 loops. Second double crochet is completed. Third double crochet. Fourth double crochet. Fifth double crochet. Sixth double crochet. Seventh double crochet. Eighth double crochet. Ninth double crochet. 10th double crochet. 11th double crochet. 12th double crochet. 13th double crochet. 14th double crochet. 15th double crochet. 16th double crochet. 17th double crochet. 18th double crochet. Next, crochet 3 double crochet in each of the 3 stitch insertion points. This is the first stitch insertion point. This is the second stitch insertion point. This is the third stitch insertion point. First, crochet 3 double crochet in the first stitch insertion point. Three double crochet in the first stitch insertion point are completed. Then, crochet 3 double crochet in the second stitch insertion point. Three double crochet in the second stitch insertion point are completed. Next, crochet 3 double crochet in the third stitch insertion point. Let's continue crocheting 5 double crochet. Five double crochet are completed. Let's try to keep this upper part and the lower part symmetrical. Next, 5 half double crochet. Note that a half double crochet has 3 loops on the crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Our yarn came undone. Let's crochet again. The first half double crochet is completed. The second half double crochet. The third half double crochet. The fourth half double crochet. The fifth half double crochet. 5 half double crochet are completed. Next, 11 single crochet. First single crochet. "11 single crochet are completed. Then work a slip stitch between rounds 31-32 where the stitch marker is attached. Insert the crochet hook through the stitch insertion point. Wrap around to the back of the working yarn. Hook head catches the working yarn. Yam over and pull through. There is a newly formed loop. Pull it through the existing loop on the hook. This completes one slip stitch. Enlarge the loop on a crochet hook. Cut the yarn. Pull out the yarn end. First, confirm if the crochet position is suitable. After confirming the position is correct, we proceed to hide the yarn tail. Find the yarn tail and take out the sewing needle. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Insert the sewing needle next to the slip stitch. Tighten the yarn tail. Weave back and forth several times inside the fabric. Hiding the yarn is completed. Cut off the excess yarn end. This short yarn end can be cut off directly, or it can be hidden inside the fabric. But this one is too short. It's not easy to hide the yarn end, so just cut it off directly. The transparent tail part of the axolotl is completed. You can see the tail part is bulging quite high. If you don't like it being so bulged, why, you can add a little less stuffing cotton when adding it. Next, crochet the axolotl limbs. The limbs use a magic ring in spiral crochet. Similarly, you need to use blue single strand yarn. Take out the blue yarn from the material kit. Hold the yarn end with one hand. Wrap the yarn around your hand. First, make a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your middle finger once. Press the cross position of the yarn with the thumb. Take out the crochet hook. Insert the crochet hook through the loop on your finger. Place it in front of the working yarn. Rotate the crochet hook. Hook head catches the working yarn. Pull the crochet hook through the loop on your middle finger. With the crochet hook, pull the yarn through the loop on your finger. Rotate the crochet hook. A new loop is formed on the crochet hook. The loop on the middle finger is the magic ring. First, crochet a chain stitch here to secure the magic ring. In the first round, first crochet a chain stitch. This was already completed when making the magic ring, 3 single crochet. The first single crochet is completed. Place the stitch marker on the first stitch. Second single crochet. The third single crochet. Here, 3 single crochet are completed. Next, crochet for chain stitches. Place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook once. Yarn over the crochet hook and pull through the loop on the hook. The first chain stitch is completed. The second chain stitch. The third chain stitch. The fourth chain stitch. During crocheting, you can constantly adjust the position of your middle finger and thumb. This is convenient for us to crochet. Now for chain stitches are completed. You can see for chain stitches forming for V shapes. Looking from the first position of the attached stitch marker. The first 3 V shapes are formed by single crochet. The latter 4 V shapes are formed by chain stitches. There are a total of 7 V shapes. Next, you need to turn back and crochet 3 single crochet. Here, skip the first chain stitch. In the second chain stitch, the third chain stitch, the fourth chain stitch, crochet a single crochet on each of these 3 chain stitches. Insert the crochet hook into the middle of the V shape. Demonstrate once more. The crochet hook picks up one side of the yarn. Yarn over and pull through, forming 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over the crochet hook again and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. This completes 1 single crochet. The second single crochet. The third single crochet. The 3 single crochet on the chain stitches are completed. Next, crochet a single crochet into the magic ring. Attach a stitch marker to the single crochet. The second round will start crocheting into this single crochet. Place a marker to easily find the stitch insertion point. For chain stitches, 3 single crochet from the second to last chain, then crochet another single crochet into the magic ring. This forms a sequence. A total of 3 such sequences are needed. Here the first sequence is complete. Second sequence. First, crochet for chain stitches. For chain stitches are completed, skip the first chain stitch. Insert hook into the middle of the second chain stitch. Crochet a single crochet. Second single crochet. The third single crochet. Three single crochet on the chain stitches are completed. Next, crochet a single crochet into the magic ring. Attach a stitch marker to the single crochet in the magic ring. Second sequence is completed. Third sequence. First, crochet for chain stitches. Do not crochet the first stitch. Crochet 3 single crochet. Three single crochet are done. Then crochet another single crochet into the magic ring. Attach a stitch marker to the single crochet on the magic ring. Find the yarn end and tighten the loop. First round is completed. For the next rounds from the 2nd to the 8th, make 6 single crochet without increasing or decreasing. First single crochet. Place the stitch marker on the first stitch. Second single crochet. The third single crochet. 3 single crochet are completed. Then on the single crochet with the attached stitch marker, make a single crochet. Remove the stitch marker. The fourth single crochet is completed. On the next single crochet with the attached stitch marker, make the 5th single crochet. Fifth single crochet is completed. Make the 6th single crochet at the position of the stitch marker. Six single crochet are completed. Second round is completed. The position of the magic ring has loosened. You can pull the yarn end again. Tighten the magic ring. Next, the third round. Fourth round. Round 5. Sixth round. Seventh round. Eighth round. Eight rounds are completed. Weave a long tail and cut the yarn. Pull out the yarn end. Remove the stitch marker. Cut off the middle yarn end directly. One limb is completed. Complete the remaining 3 limbs in the same way. 4 limbs are completed. Next, make the axolotl's gills. 3 gills on each side of the axolotl, 6 gills in total. The method for making all 6 gills is the same. Use blue single strand to make the main body of the gill. The gill filaments use dark blue yarn. Take out the blue yarn. Make the main part of the gills. The main part of the gill starts with a chain stitch. Here, you need to make a slip-knot first. Hold the yarn end with one hand. Pinch the end of the yarn with the middle finger and index finger of the other hand. Wrap the yarn end to the front of the yarn at the end of the yarn ball. Press the cross position of the yarn with the thumb. Pull the yarn from the bottom of the yarn ball. Use your fingers from the middle of the loop to pull the yarn out. Tighten the yarn end. A slip-knot is formed. Take out the crochet hook. Insert the crochet hook into the loop formed by the slip-knot. Pull the yarn of the yarn ball. Tighten the loop. Open one hand and carry the yarn on it. Pinch the position of the knot with your thumb and middle finger. This completes the foundation chain. Next, you need to make 9 chain stitches. Place the crochet hook in front of the working yarn. Lift the working yarn upwards. Yarn over the crochet hook and pull through the existing loop on the hook. This forms the first chain stitch. A chain stitch looks like a V shape from the front. The second chain stitch. Here, 2 chain stitches are completed. There are 2 V shapes. The third chain stitch. The fourth chain stitch. The fifth chain stitch. The sixth chain stitch. The seventh chain stitch. The eighth chain stitch. The ninth chain stitch. When crocheting chain stitches, be sure to keep the loops on the hook the same size. Only then will the chain stitches be neat. Each V shape should also be the same size. The V-shaped side is the front of the chain stitch. We will turn the chain stitch to the back. On the back, you can see a series of lines. Here, 9 chain stitches are completed. So there are 9 such horizontal lines on the back. These horizontal lines are the back bumps. Insert the crochet hook back into the loop. Tighten the loop with the tension of the index finger. Next, crochet on the back bumps. The lines seen on the back just now are the back bumps. Rotate the chain stitch. Skip the first bump here. Insert stitch into the second bump to crochet. Pick up the back bump like this. Total of 3 slip stitches are needed. First slip stitch. Second slip stitch. Third slip stitch. Three slip stitches are completed. Crochet 5 more single crochet, all done in the back bumps. Five single crochet are completed. Enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Remove the crochet hook, leave a long yarn tail and cut the yarn. Enlarge the loop. Pull the yarn tail through the loop and tighten. A main body of 1 gill is completed. Next, make the gill filaments. Take out the dark blue yarn. You will need 17 pieces, each 2 inches long. Place the yarn on your middle and index fingers like this. Wrap the yarn around 17 times. Wrap the yarn 17 times. Cut the yarn. Remove the yarn from your fingers. Cut the yarn along the bottom. The yarns needed for the gill filaments are ready. Next, we need to assemble. Take out the main body of the gill. The gill filaments need to be fixed onto the V-shaped edge of the main body. We can take a look. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
7,
8,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, 16 and 17. There are 17 V-shaped loops here. So, 17 pieces of yarn were prepared. Each V-shaped loop has the strands front and back. Now facing us is the front of the fabric. The strand closer to us in the V-shaped loop is the front loop. The strand farther from us is the back loop. The gill filaments need to be fixed on the strand farther from us in the V-shaped loop. Take out the crochet hook. Insert the crochet hook through the back loop of the first stitch. Take out the prepared yarn. Fold it in half and hang it on the crochet hook. Pull the yarn through the back loop with the crochet hook. Now there is a loop on the crochet hook. Place the crochet hook behind the yarn end. Note that there are 2 yarn ends. Hook the yarn end with the crochet hook. Pass through the loop on the crochet hook. Tighten the yarn end. The first gill filament is done. Complete the remaining gill filaments in the same way. Place the yarn on the crochet hook, aligning the yarn tail. Pull the yarn through the back loop with the crochet hook. Place the crochet hook below the yarn end. Wrap the yarn on to pull it through the loop. Tighten the yarn end. Assemble all the gill filaments onto the main body of the gill. Next, proceed with trimming. The length of the gill filaments is about the same as the width of the gill body. We can also trim it a bit longer first, then do the final trimming. Trim it like this first. This completes 1 gill. Complete the remaining 5 gills in the same way. 6 gills are completed. Next, sewing is required. First, sew the axolotl gills. Gills are divided into 2 groups, 3 on each side. 5 stitches in between. The position of the decrease stitch counts as 1 stitch. Sewing 1 gill takes up to stitches. Leave 1 stitch in between. Then take up to stitches. Leave 1 more stitch. Then take up to stitches. 1 group of gills will take up 8 stitches. The same method is used on both sides. Take out the completed main body. Face the front towards ourselves. Go down along the center position. Here, the gills need to be sewn on the 13th round. First, confirm the round count. Round 13. Now pick up this round with a sewing needle. The middle position on the front side. 5 stitches in between. Use this position of the decrease stitch as the midpoint. Count the stitches to the left and right. Then attach the stitch marker. Count the stitches on the other side as well. Attach the stitch marker. This determines the highest point of the gills on both sides. Then count 8 stitches downwards. Determine the lowest point. Because there is a decrease stitch in round 13, we use the stitch count of round 12, which has no increases or decreases as a reference. Count 8 stitches down from the highest point. The same method applies to this side. Count 8 stitches down from the position where the stitch marker is attached at the highest point. This confirms the position of the gills on both the left and right sides. Take out one side's 3 gills for sewing. Find the long side. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Insert the needle in the gap between rounds 12 and 13. Bring the needle out from the position between rounds 13 and 14. Be sure to pull the thread tight. If you're worried about the gills on both sides being sewn asymmetrically, you can start with a simple stitch. Don't sew too tightly. After confirming the position, proceed with detailed sewing. Once one side's thread is used up, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Cut off the excess yarn end. Next, find the short side's yarn tail. Thread it onto the sewing needle. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Insert the stitch closest to the yarn tail. One gill is sewn like this. If everyone is worried about the sewing position being incorrect, do not weave in the yarn tail yet. Weave in the yarn tail after confirming the position. After one gill is sewn, sew the second gill from the adjacent position. Find the long yarn tail and thread it onto the sewing needle. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Thread the yarn end onto the sewing needle as well. This way 2 gills are sewn. Start sewing the third gill. This completes the sewing of one side's gills. Complete the sewing of the other side in the same way. Everyone can complete it on their own using the same method. Now the 6 gills on both sides are sewn. The gills here are a bit curled. You can use diluted white glue or setting spray. Apply it to the back of the gills to shape them. White glue and setting spray need to be prepared by yourself. The length of the gill filaments can be trimmed according to your preference. The video does not demonstrate the final trimming process. This way, the axolotl's gills are sewn. Now let's sew the axolotl's limbs. There is a gap of 4 stitches between the axolotl's forelimbs, 6 stitches between the hind limbs. So according to the sewing position of this one. Take out the completed main body. Let's sew the limbs. First, confirm the position of the forelimbs. The forelimbs need to be sewn on rounds 12 to 14. 4 stitches between 2 forelimbs. On rounds 12 to 14. Insert the sewing needle to mark. Interval between the gills on both sides is 4 stitches. Let's confirm. For stitches apart. Insert the sewing needle in the middle position. Cross 3 rounds. Then count 2 stitches to the left and right. Attach a stitch marker here. Attach a stitch marker on the other side as well. This needs to span 3 rounds. Determine the position of the forelimbs. Start by sewing the forelimbs. Take out 2 limbs. Find the yarn tail. Take out the sewing needle. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Sew 1 limb first. Here you need to flatten the limb. Then sew between rounds 12 and 14. Tilt outward like this. At the position of the hanging stitch marker, count 2 stitches to one side. Insert the sewing needle. Then bring the needle out from above the stitch marker. Determine the sewing position. Everyone needs to pay attention here. The position with 3 toes is on top. Pull the thread tight. The needle needs to pass through these two flattened layers. One limb is sewn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Cut off the excess yarn end. Sew the other side using the same method. Thread the yarn tail onto the sewing needle. Insert the needle above the stitch marker. Tilt downwards. Skip to stitches below the stitch marker. Similarly, flatten the fabric. Remove the stitch marker. The forelimb on the other side is also sewn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Cut the yarn. After sewing the forelimb on the other side. Now let's confirm the position where the hind limb needs to be sewn. The hind limb needs to be sewn between rounds 22 and 24. This is the 14th round. Rounds 22 to 24 are these 3 rounds. Similarly, insert the sewing needle into the middle position for alignment. Adjust the position a bit. Try to choose a center position here. Count 2 stitches to one side from the middle stitch. Attach the stitch marker. Similarly, the stitch marker needs to pass through 3 rounds. Count 2 stitches to the other side as well. Attach the stitch marker. Count from round 24. There is a gap of 6 stitches in the middle. Next, sew the hind limbs. Pick out 2 hind limbs. Find the yarn tail and thread it onto the sewing needle. Flatten the limb. Insert the needle at a position 1 stitch below the stitch marker. Bring the needle out from above the stitch marker. Remove the stitch marker. Similarly, make sure the side with 3 toes is facing up. One side of the hind limb is sewn. Hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. Sew the other side using the same method. The other hind limb is sewn. This completes the sewing of the limbs. Next, embroider the axolotl's mouth. Embroider the axolotl's mouth on rounds 1 to 5. Symmetrical on both sides, from a double yo shape. Take a piece of black yarn. Extract 1 strand to embroider the mouth. Pay attention here. Do not cut the thread too long. Threads that are too long tend to knot. Thread the sewing needle. Take out the completed part. Insert the needle from any position. First, find the round 5. We can check the position of the needle insertion 1 to 2 rounds below the eyes. The other side is also 5 rounds. Keep both sides symmetrical. Pull the needle through the center of the magic ring. Check if the left and right sides are symmetrical. If you feel it's not symmetrical enough, you can make adjustments. Pull the needle through the middle. Then insert the needle again at the same spot where you pulled it through the horizontal line in the middle. Sew it between the two lines. Then pull the thread tight. This forms a straight line. Then between the third and the fourth rounds, pull the needle through the position below the horizontal line. Pick up the thread. Insert the needle again at the spot where you pulled it through. Use the same method for the symmetrical position on the other side. This completes an W shape. You can adjust the shape as you like. Next, insert the thread into the fabric. Weave back and forth several times. Then thread both yarn tails through the same hole. Tie a knot. Trim off the excess yarn ends. This completes the embroidery of the mouth. You can use setting spray or white glue to fix the shape of the gills. This is the effect after brushing white glue on the back of the gills. The axolotl is completed.